everyone, and welcome to our bi-weekly Satsang. So in our last session, we had talked about ceaseless effort. Ceaseless effort, that one thing that you need to do if you really want to know the truth. If you want self-realization, it's the ceaseless effort that's required. So you don't get any free passes in satsang. So let's go around the room. We'll just see how have you been doing in this. Tell us.
Sai Ram, since the last time, I think it's almost 2 weeks. From the time even to this date, one thing you had given input is that we need to perform sadhana from the heart. Other two look from the mind.
You were doing all your sadhana from the mind, right?
Mind.
It's a common mistake. Lots of
Yes.
society devotees do this.
So one thing what I have observed in the last 2 weeks is that I find a great sense of stability and a kind of stillness when I sit. And sometimes I feel that I'm seeping into it very seamlessly.
Good.
And sometimes I observe that a lot of chaos is happening around, but still inside me I'm so peaceful, I'm so stable, and I'm actually not much getting bothered by it. I won't say it is completely 100%, but yet to a large extent I'm so stable, I would say. I feel that. And even in the last 1 week, I would say that a sense of expansion comes in when I sit and close my eyes, and I find a great joy in that.
Good. So one thing I would suggest is, see, earlier you were doing your sadhana from the level of the mind. When sadhakas, when spiritual aspirants, when they sit down to meditate or pray or chant or whatever it is, if they're sitting with the thought that I am the body, that sadhana will most likely just lead to more bondage and more suffering. Yeah? And you've all seen this, right? You try to meditate for some time and nothing happens. And then you feel worse after the meditation than you did before, right? Because you're doing your meditation with the sense of I am this body, which is the worst sin that you can do. The worst sin is to think I am the body. Instead, identify with the self. I am the self. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am pure consciousness. I am pure awareness. I am not my thoughts. I am not my thoughts. Thank goodness I am not my thoughts, right? So think like this, practice like this. But if you sit down into do sadhana with the idea that I am this body, you're lost. Okay? Chandrabhadra?
Sai Ram. So after the last session, I decided that I'll have a lot of fun. So I thought I'll focus on love. And so what's been happening for the last couple of weeks is I find myself in waves and waves of joy when I practice this love. And I had a lot of opportunities to practice this love. We went for a industrial tour come vacation kind of thing with students to Chennai, and they had a lot of opportunity to meet a lot of people and be in love, and wherever I go to a restaurant, try to be in love. And
So can I interrupt and then so what I'm doing is just telling you guys to watch out, okay? And the reason I'm telling you to watch out is all these mistakes that I'm pointing out, I've already made them. And I've made them like 100 times, okay? So I'm just telling you that, boss, just watch out for this, okay? So sometimes in your sadhana, you come into states of love, and that love can lead to states of joy, right? Or states of peace. We've all had that, no? Where you come out of bhajans, you're like, that was so great, and something, whatever it is, you feel so peaceful. But if you get attached to that state of joy, if you get attached to that state of peace, that by itself will hold you back. In fact, many very good sadhakas, many very good spiritual aspirants, they actually get stuck not realizing that while joy and peace are good, what you're focusing on is you are the experiencer of joy. You're the one who is experiencing joy. You're the one who is experiencing peace. You're the one who is experiencing love. That is, how many are there in that equation then? There's two, right? Right? And Swami says he says there's only one, not two. The moment two is seen, Maya is in operation. Yes? So instead of trying to be the experiencer of love or joy or peace, then be bliss, be peace, right? See how that changes it. It'll change it completely. Then you don't have to worry about trying to, oh, that was a lovely state. That was, bhajans were so blissful, right? That is duality. And what happens, as you know, is you go to that state, and then what happens after some time? It comes down, right? And sometimes it comes crashing down, right? You go home, your husband is there, you know, so many problems. Yes, right? Why all ladies are nodding their heads, no? On this, this is how it happens. Instead, be love, be peace, be bliss. Don't try to be the one who experiences that bliss. You'll get stuck. You'll get stuck. Okay, let's go to the ladies' side.
From the last time we met, and also after the Bali trip, yeah, there has been some change in the way I'm doing my sadhana. From last time, I was like doing a lot of things because I thought all that is important and I have to do everything. But last time you said just doing maypole with full of love is enough. So I'm feeling a lot of freedom after that of not, checking all the box in the morning that I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. So I'm doing the maypole with a lot of love and really imagining Swami in front of me. That's one thing. And also, over the last few weeks, I've started this witnesshood. But like you're saying, it's still duality. I'm like trying to see myself and finding it quite interesting.
First stage is to be the witness, right? What Swami says, just watch. Just watch what's going on outside of you, but more importantly, watch what is going on inside of you. The external world is nothing. And, we were talking, Shivani and I were talking yesterday, there's so much turbulence in the world. Just do whatever is your duty, okay? But otherwise give it fleeting, passing interest, that's all. Instead, focus on what is inside, watching what is inside of you. Today I had a funny thought and I just watched it and it went away. And what will happen is, see, many of you have very strong vasanas. You have very strong tendencies from the past. It could be pride, anger, greed, lust, jealousy. I missed one. Whatever is the last. It could be any of those things. And those tendencies will grab you when you're least prepared. And it'll grab you like a tiger grabs its prey. Instead, just watch when those things come. Just be the witness without getting involved. Now, I noticed something that you said, and this is a mistake I made in my sadhana and a mistake all sadhakas make. We think that merging with God is something we have to achieve. We think that merging into Swami's lotus feet is something we have to aspire for. We think that self-realization is something we have to go to, like a destination, like I'm traveling from here to London. It's like I get on the flight and do this. So what happens is sadhakas then make a critical error. They think that they need a guru, or they need a path, or they need a method to reach that destination, right? Correct, no? This happens to everyone. And what happens is, when they don't reach that destination because of their own vasanas or their own laziness or their own lack of discipline or whatever it is, then they get disappointed and then they go looking for another guru, another path, another method. And this keeps on happening because they're always looking outside of themselves. They think that self-realization is something that they have to aspire to, as if they are as if they have to get there. It doesn't work that way. You're already the self. You're already pure consciousness. You can't be anything else. You're already self-realized in the sense that you are just that. There's nothing for you to achieve. If you want to realize the self right now, just be still. That's all. Just be still. So the sadhanas that you're doing are just tools to help you, okay? These sadhanas, what they do is they help to bring those vasanas, those tendencies down. They turn down the volume on those vasanas, right? Until they no longer bother you. And once that happens, then you can finally be still at long last. And then once you're still, then you know that you're God. No, it's simple. That's all. So please give up this idea that self-realization is something to be achieved or something to be reached or something to aspire for. Give up the idea that you have to merge into Swami's lotus feet as if you are here and Swami's lotus feet is there. No, you're one and the same. You and Swami are one and the same. The same consciousness that is in me, that is in Bhagavan, that is in you, it's all one. It's not different. Okay? So please correct this thinking. It's a common misbelief that a lot of spiritual aspirants make. Watch, watching. There's different ways. You can watch the mind, okay, and watch what is happening, or you can do what I do, which is just trying to be still. And so I just go into that state of silent mind. What Swami says, die mind, when there's silence. And when there's silence, then it's simple. It's obvious, If you go outside and see the sun, you know the sun is there, right? You don't have to search for the sunlight. And in the same way, when you're silent, you know that you're the self. It's obvious. I remember a couple of times I used to think like I would think about how the mind was before and the thoughts and patterns that would come before and the memories and all that. I'd be like, what's the matter with me? Why did I think all that? What happened? Why did I think all that? But that's what will happen. It'll be obvious to you. And then you'll think you hit yourself on the head, palm to face, and you'll be like, man, how could I have done that? But then you realize that's the truth, that you're the self. And it's obvious. You can't miss it. You can't miss it. Just be still. Yeah. Okay? Yes, a question there.
I'm practicing this watch.
Can you use the mic so that others can hear?
Sairam. So when I'm practicing this watching,
When you're using the watch method. Yeah.
I'm realizing I'm going bereft of emotions. So what am I missing? Or is it okay? Means there's a little fear also. Am I losing all my emotions?
What kind of emotions?
No
do you mean?
emotions. No emotions are there. So am I becoming like a stone? I don't know what you call it.
It means you have to go deeper. Because when you're really watching, you won't feel a lack of anything. You'll feel a fullness of peace. That peace, see, all of you, I tell you, you are making the biggest sacrifice. You are already the self. Your basic nature is absolute bliss. Bliss that you can't even describe. Absolute peace. Peace that you cannot even describe. Just pure awareness, pure consciousness. And all of you are making the biggest sacrifice. Instead of identifying with God and your true self, you're making the biggest sin of all, which is to identify with this body. It's the most foolish thing, but it's the most natural thing. That's the game that Swami has put us in, that we also agreed to play. That's the game that we played. That I will play this game. I'm going to pretend I'm this body for a little while, just like an actor will put on a costume in a play, right? I'm going to put on this body and I'm going to try to find my way out. So finish the game.
To have no feelings at all?
No, that means you're not done.
Oh.
That means you need to go deeper.
Okay.
So what happens is, once you become quiet, then you'll say, okay, I'm witnessing, I'm watching. Who is witnessing? Who is it that is witnessing? Yeah? And see if you can find the answer for that. It doesn't come in words. The answer won't come in words. It'll come in awareness. So you need to go deeper, go deeper.